You already know how this ends. That is the curse. That is the specific, relentless curse of this man's existence. Not just that terrible things happen to him. Terrible things happen to everyone. The curse is that he knows. He has always known. You can see it in his face before the first shot is fired, before the first name is spoken, before anything has happened yet. The eyes of a man who has already processed every version of how this goes and has accepted that none of them are good. Max Payne is not a tragic character because of what was taken from him. He is tragic because of how much he understands about what was taken, and because that understanding never once made the next loss easier. This is the part the games show you in bullet time and muzzle flash and noir voiceover. What they do not show you is what it actually costs to be the person behind all of it. What it costs to still be standing when everyone around you is gone. What it costs to survive your own life, not once, but again, and again, and again. Let's go back to the beginning. Before the darkness, before the philosophy and the painkillers and the slow motion and the body count. Max Payne was a cop, a New York City cop. He had a wife named Michelle. He had a daughter, an infant, a new life, a reason. He lived in the suburbs. He had the ordinary architecture of a good life taking shape, a family, a future, a self that was built around something other than grief. He was happy. That sentence needs to sit there for a moment, because it is the most important sentence in his entire story. Max Payne was happy. He had the thing that he was going to spend the rest of his existence measuring every other thing against. He had the before. And then the Valkyr addicts broke in, and his wife was killed, and his daughter was killed, and Max came home to find them. You already know this. Most people who know Max Payne know this. What they do not think about, what gets lost in the mythology of the tragedy, is the specific reality of that night. He came home. He walked into his house. He found what was there. He has never recovered from what was in that house, because you do not recover from that. There is no recovery available. There is only the question of what you become instead. And here is the first turn, the first layer of the curse, because Max Payne answers that question with purpose. He does not fall apart. He does not disappear. He gets up and he goes to work and he dedicates himself to finding the people responsible, not as a conscious philosophical decision. Is the only thing available to put in the space where his family used to be. He goes undercover to track the Valkyr drug pipeline. He is a cop working DEA. He is going to find the source. He is going to make it mean something. He is going to transform the worst thing that ever happened to him into justice. This is what decent people do with catastrophe. They build purpose out of it. They convert loss into mission. And for a while, for the years of the undercover work, for the construction of the case, the mission holds. And then it collapses. His partner is killed. His contact is murdered. He is framed for the murder and hunted by the department he used to work for. The undercover operation, the years of careful work, the entire structure he had built to replace what the night took from him, dismantled in hours. And now he is not just grieving. Now he is running from everyone, from the criminals he was investigating, from the cops who think he is a killer, from the corrupt machinery that has been operating behind everything he thought he understood about his city. Because here is what Max Payne discovers during the worst night of his life. The Valkyr drug that killed his family was not random street crime. It was a government project, a pharmaceutical conspiracy. His wife had found information about it. She was killed to silence her. His family was not collateral damage. His family was the target. The thing he has been running toward, the answer, the accountability, the meaning is this, that it was always worse than he thought, that the wound goes deeper than the wound he knew about, that the people who took everything from him had resources and systems and government contracts, and they thought that made them untouchable. Max Payne's response to discovering that the people who murdered his family thought they were untouchable is to prove them wrong. This is the part that feels like a hero's journey if you watch it at the right speed. It is not. It is a man detonating himself at the source of the fire because he has nothing else left and no safer place to put the rage. He does not survive the night because he is a hero. He survives because the specific combination of nothing to lose and everything to prove is the most dangerous thing in any room. He brings it down. He finds the woman responsible. He ends it. And then, and this is the turn that the mythology always skips past, He has to figure out what comes after. Because the mission is over. The thing he built to replace his family has been completed. He is standing in the wreckage of a massive corporate conspiracy he personally dismantled. Covered in it, still alive, and the grief is still there. It was always there. It was behind the mission the entire time, waiting. Grief does not get solved, it gets survived. And surviving it does not mean leaving it behind. Max goes back to the NYPD, because where else would he go? His badge is reinstated. He returns to the department that hunted him, in the city that tried to kill him, because the only identity he has left outside of what he lost is the one on the shield. And there is a woman named Mona Sachs. She is in the middle of the same corrupt world he keeps occupying. She is dangerous and smart, and she and Max have the specific gravitational pull of two people who recognize their own damage in each other. It is not a healthy dynamic. It could not be. These are not healthy people. They are survivors of things that destroyed the conditions for healthy. But it is real. And for a man who has not had anything real since the night his family was taken, real is enormous. You already know what is going to happen. You know because the story has a pattern by now, and the pattern is that Max Payne is not allowed to keep anything that matters. Mona dies, not in some abstract story sense, specifically in front of him, because she was trying to protect him, because the world he moves through is hostile to anyone who moves through it beside him. He stands in the aftermath of it, and the voiceover says something dark and poetic, because that is the language he has developed to put distance between himself and what is happening to him. The noir narration is not artistry. It is armor. It is the mechanism a man develops when raw, direct experience of his own life has become too much to process without some kind of translation layer. But here is what the voiceover cannot cover. He is alone again. He was alone before Mona. He is alone after. The window opened and closed in the world he lives in has once again demonstrated that it does not grant him people to keep. Years later, Max Payne is in Brazil. He is not a cop anymore. He is private security for a wealthy family. He is drinking heavily. He is taking painkillers. He is doing what people do when the purpose that replaced the grief has also been completed and there is nothing left to replace the purpose. He is functioning at the minimum viable level that keeps him alive without requiring him to inhabit his own life. He is 50% present in any given moment. The rest of him is back in New Jersey, back in that house, back in the rooms where everything started. He is supposed to be protecting a woman named Giovanna Branco. He fails. She is taken. And what follows is Max Payne detonating himself at another conspiracy in another country because it is the only thing he knows how to do. He burns through Sao Paulo the way he burned through New York. Completely, exhaustively, at enormous cost to everyone in his proximity. He finds some version of resolution. He survives. Again. But here is the honest accounting of where he ends up. He is older. He is more damaged. He has survived more things that should have killed him. He has no family. He has no partner. He has no department. He has no fixed location. He is a man who keeps winning specific battles in a war he started losing on the night he came home to find his family gone. And no number of won battles has brought him any closer to winning the war. The war is grief. You cannot win that war. You can only outlast it. And the outlasting costs everything. Max Payne's life is not a story about a man destroyed by tragedy. It is a story about a man who refused to be destroyed, who got up every single time, who found the mission, who followed it through to the end, who kept putting one foot in front of the other through the worst of everything. By any conventional measure, that is strength. But here's the thing about surviving as your primary mode of existing in the world. It works until you have to be present in the moments between the survivals. Until you have to sit in a room that is not a crisis and locate the person you are when there is nothing to get through. Max Payne was a husband. He was a father. He was a man who had a before, and every version of himself that came after. The undercover cop, the department outcast, the vigilante. The drum security contractor in Brazil has been a man trying to keep moving fast enough that the distance between the present and that before does not have to be felt at its full depth. The tragedy is not the body count. The tragedy is not the corporate conspiracy or the corrupt governments or the betrayals. The tragedy is that somewhere in there, under the noir philosophy and the painkillers and the bullet time, there is still the man who came home one night and found that his family was gone. He has been trying to get back to before that moment for his entire life, and there is no way back. There is only forward. into more of the same world that took them. He keeps going. That is all he does. He keeps going, and that might be the most heartbreaking sentence in any story. Not that he fell, not that he was broken, but that he kept going, through all of it, with all of it, carrying every single bit of it, into a future that never once offered him back the thing he was going toward. The baby daughter never got to grow up. The wife never got to grow old. And Max Payne never got to be the father he was going to be. He got everything else. He survived everything else. Everything else was not enough.